A very good afternoon to all of you. Myself Puneet Pathak, and today's topic is raw material as a source for fiber for paper making, that is wood, agro waste and waste paper. So, first word which comes in my title, that is raw material. So, the definition of raw material, that is raw means anything that is uncooked or unprocessed or minimally processed. So, we will take that as a raw material, and in my case that is for the paper making for the fiber source. So, the sources are wood, agro waste and waste papers. In India generally these three sources are utilized for the paper making processes. Mostly or traditionally wood is a primary source for the paper making in India from the hardwood. Then agro waste that is generated as a waste after the cultivation process, that is also used recently for the paper making processes. And last one is waste paper. As you know that after using the paper, when it is used first time, then second time if it is used, that is waste, and if it is goes into the industry, then it called it recycled fiber. So, that waste is also used as a raw material for the paper making. So, I will start with the fiber structure before going inside of these three type of raw material. In the morning session, one person was asking about the what is the fiber. So, anything in which the length to diameter ratio is higher, more than 10, you can say it as a fiber, right. So, what we are looking in the first, this is digester. So, we put wood chip in this digester. What is happening inside this digester, that is shown in the rest three circles, means you are seeing the wood chips after the chipping process, wood loss coming to the paper industry after the debarking and chipping process. Wood is poured into the digester with some chemicals like soda, in soda process, crop process, different type of chemicals are used. So, in this chemical process, these fiber have to be separated. So, how these fibers should be separated? By dissolving the lignin. So, in this diagram you can see that, may I get the pointer? Yes. So, this is the structure of fiber. So, these are four bundles of the fibers which is present in the wood chips. So, there is a primary cell wall, then secondary cell wall, then lumen, this is the hollow region, and there is a middle lamella. So, these are the basic structure found in the fiber, and these fiber are made up from the different carbohydrate substances like hemicellulose, lignin and cellulose, and paper industry is the largest consumer of this cellulose for paper making process. So, during this treatment process, this lignin molecule is dissolved by the chemical processes, and with some residual lignin, with the bundles of cellulose and hemicellulose, these fibers get separated. So, these are the three basic macromolecules present in the fiber, that is cellulose, lignin and hemicellulose. So, on the top one you can see that major portion of the fiber is cellulose. In wood it is around 30 to 40%, but after the chemical process the fiber contains around 60 to 80% of the cellulose based on the treatment processes. So, it is a long chain of the glucose that is polymerized into a long chain, that is called cellulose, and the bundles of cellulose form the fiber main structure. Then in between this is the lignin, that is composed of three different type of the basic subunits, that is para coumaryl acid, coniferyl and synepyl alcohol. So, these unit makes the lignin structure. That actual structure of lignin is not known, because after the chemical process the whole structure changes. So, basic subunits are these three molecules. Then hemicellulose, that is a heterogeneous group of the polysaccharide, mainly with the sugar molecules and basic unit of xylose, and it is a branch structure, several branch molecules are present there, and it helps in the to provide the tensile strength to the fiber. So, if we see the structure, so first one is a primary cell wall. So, this cell wall is made up of the cellulose, hemicellulose and pectin substances, and it provides it is a thin and flexible molecule, and it provides a sheath protective layer to the fiber. So, just like a sticker, you have to peel off the outer layer to make it sticky. In the same manner, from the fiber you have to remove the primary cell wall, so that the secondary cell wall will be exposed, and after the treatment process microfibril will be exposed, so that bonding between these fiber can be made. So, this secondary cell wall is important, that is just beneath the primary cell wall. So, it is again divided into S1, S2 and S3, and during the refining process, that is a highly energy intensive process in the paper making. In that process, primary cell wall is removed, and after the beating process, these microfibrils are exposed for providing the higher surface area, so that higher hydrogen bonding can be established within the fiber. Then in the middle one, that is the lumen, it is an important part, because this lumen helps to absorb the water to make the fiber to get the more bondings, and after collapsing process the surface area is also increased, so that more hydrogen bond is obtained. Then this is middle lamella. Middle lamella is not a property of individual fiber, just like hair pony, when we use elastic to bundle all the hairs. So, just like that, bundles of fibers are united by this middle lamella. Then surface fibrils, after the beating process, the cellulose microfibrils will be exposed and on the surface, as well as if these fibrils are in the macro range, then it is called as microfibrils. So, these are the three raw materials, that is wood, agro waste and waste paper, that are being utilized by the paper makers for paper making processes. So, first one is wood, that is a traditional and widely used fiber source, and mainly it is classified into hardwood and softwood. And when people are calling that this is imported paper, so it means mostly those papers are made up from the softwood, because of higher strength or higher length of that fiber, it provides higher strength to the paper. And in wood, if we are talking about wood, because it comes from a certain species like eucalyptus or poplar or spruce or pine. So, it contains a property which is uniform with all the species, means uniform characteristic will be obtained after each chemical process or paper making process. Then second one is agro waste. This is waste which is generated after the agriculture processes, like wheat straw, rice straw and bagasse, that is after the juicing process, the rest material is bagasse. And but in this case the variability in the raw material is seen, because these raw material are quite different from each other, means wheat straw property is entirely different from the rice straw, bagasse property entirely different from the rice straw. Then third one is waste paper, it is recycled fiber which is previously used paper. And in this case the limitation is that after each recycling process the property of fibers are being changed, means we cannot know that how much time this paper has already been recycled when it comes into the paper mill. So, there is a fact, if you fold any paper again and again 90-degree, you cannot unfold after 7th cycle, means after 7th cycle you cannot fold. Same is applicable for the recycling process. Studies, there are several studies that after 7th recycling the paper properties are there are very negative effect after this 7th recycling, means the fiber structure is getting distorted. In the morning session someone asked that after the recycling process what is happening to the fiber. Obviously, after each recycling fiber is getting shorter, and fiber that lumen portion is also flattened. So, this is hardwood. The definition of hardwood under the wood category, that any wood that is derived from the deciduous trees. Deciduous means trees which shed their leaves seasonally. So, those wood are hardwood, and the fiber which is obtained from hardwood is shorter and finer, and with a smooth property. Means if we want to make any paper with smooth, then we have to choose this hardwood, and it is ideal for the printing and writing application because of the smoothness. So, a common example are eucalyptus, poplar, birch and aspen, and the higher fiber quality ensured refined and uniform paper property. Then second one is softwood. So, as the name shows that it is from the coniferous trees like pine, fir, spruce, and this softwood contains more lignin. Although name is soft, but it contains more lignin, means it is more hard, but name is softwood, and it is essential for the making the paper where stern properties are required. And these two hardwood and softwood can be blend together with other species. So, these are the common examples of the hardwood and softwood. Then agro waste. In agro waste, several categories are there like crop residue, husk and shell, bagasse and other residue. So, in first category, that is crop residue, wheat straw, rice straw, corn stalk, sorghum, these residue are there, and these are very rich in cellulose and suitable for the fiber production processes. But in case of rice straw, there is a problem with the silica. Because there is higher amount of the silica in the range of 10 to 13% silica is there. So, that silica is creating problem during the recovery, chemical recovery process. Then secondly, husk and shell. In this category, rice husk, oat husk, these can be used, but it is not used in the paper industry, but for the research purpose people are using these type of raw material. Then bagasse is definitely being used by the paper industry, and other one are banana stem, bamboo waste and various crop dry product that can also be used. Recently, cow dung is also used for the paper making. So, these are some common examples of the agro waste material which are being used at the industry level or for the research purposes. Now, third category is waste paper grade. So, as per European standard, there are 5 type of the waste paper, and this is very heterogeneous material for the paper industry. First one is low quality, that is unsorted. The examples are different type of given. So, I will not read this. So, first one is low quality, then second is medium quality, third grade is high quality, fourth grade is craft quality, and fifth one is special quality. So, in the previous session, one person asked whether specialty paper can be recycled or not. So, I want to tell that this grade 5 cannot be recycled. If recycled, we need some special processes or a special standard to recycle these papers. So, first one is office waste paper, which is being utilized for the recycling processes, that is the paper which is collected in our daily business or administrative environment. So, in this, those paper which contains printer paper or copier paper or writing paper or stationery paper are commonly comes under this category. And the toner ink which is present in this paper is hard to de-ink, because it is polymeric substances which sticks on the paper when heat is applied in the ruler section. So, this toner paper cannot be recycled by the chemical process. So, some additional processes like enzymatic process or some other processes like magnetic de-inking is being utilized to remove this ink. So, I want to tell that in the for the waste paper there is entirely different processes which is adopted in comparison to the wood or agro waste processes. So, in this there is a de-inking process in which we have to remove the ink present on the fiber surfaces. So, that step is very crucial, because if ink is there, then obviously the finished product will have some black specks. So, Then in office paper, the fiber properties, surface properties, and chemical treatment process and contamination risk are there. Because waste paper is a paper which is recycled back, means after utilization it is recycled. So obviously there are several contaminants, like in our morning session, Binder Paper Industry said that there are some from uh, unwanted material like glues, adhesive, and pins, even iron particle are there. So that is the main risk for as a contamination for the paper industry. Then second one is newspaper. So it is primarily used for the mass communication, and it is the basic raw material for the paper industry. And in this water soluble ink is used, and that is easy to remove. In this newspaper, the fiber quality has short fiber with high variability in the length, because newspaper is again recycled. So after each recycling process, the fiber length is reduced. So there is a variability in this newspaper. And again the contamination risk, as a contamination risk, there is a printing ink, filler material, and sizing agent are present as a in the raw material. Then cardboard, that cardboard refers to paper based packaging material. Then magazine and catalogs, these are designed for the visual appealing and advertising. In these papers, this is a glossy paper, and high GSM paper is used, means inorganic part is also present in these papers. So sometimes classified along with office based paper, but it is entirely different in the production processes. Then this is a mixed or unsorted paper. In this category, all the paper are mixed, means unsorted. So in Indian scenario, there is no criteria for segregating the waste paper based on its production processes or application processes. So this is very hard, because this is very hard to link, because when we mixed different type of the waste paper, and each waste paper is made up from different chemical processes or having different fiber in that paper. So if we are mixing those paper, then there may not be a single recipe to de-ink those papers. So what are the advantages of using waste paper, or what are the challenges? So first one is environmental saving, because in waste paper already fiber is obtained. So pulping or bleaching process is mostly eliminated in this process. So there is less environmental load in when we are recycling any waste paper. Then waste mitigation means solid waste is not generated. Then economic benefits means lesser cost. Then it promotes the circular economy. This is very fancy word in current scenario, that is circular economy. So in that circular economy definition, waste paper is contributing. But there are challenges, that fiber degradation is there, and we cannot measure in each lot. Then contamination is used, and processing complexity based on the contaminant present in the waste paper. So these are the comparative analysis based on the availability. So reliable sources wood, and abundant sources agro waste, and the waste paper also present in abundant quantity because of the high consumption. But in the near future, paper consumption is reduced due to the electronic mode also. The cost is higher in the wood and low in the waste paper. Durability is high in the wood section, and because degradation is in the waste paper, so durability is less in waste paper as a raw material. Then environmental benefits is in the agro waste and waste paper, due to several complex processes in the wood processing industry. The environmental load is higher in this wood based industry. when we compare based on the raw material, means fiber morphology, then we found that fiber length and its uniformity is better in wood, and shorter or more variable or non-cellulosic inclusion are present in the agro waste, and there are shorter and fragmented fiber present in the waste paper. So, whenever we are going for any eastern paper, we should go for the wood pulp. So, in this slide I want to show what is the variability among different type of the raw materials. So, in wood you can see that the fiber length of the fiber length of the wood based raw material is around 3.6 mm to 2.7 mm with 3 mm as average, and in case of non woody material it is in the range of 20 mm to 1 mm, means huge variability among the different species in the agro waste, and there is a definite range in the wood based raw material. Second, there is an important thing, that is L&D ratio, length to diameter ratio. So, length to diameter ratio is important for the strength properties and flexibility. So, that is in the range of 100 is to 1 for the softwood, and it is lesser for the hardwood, that is 50 to 1. But in case of agro waste, it is more than 1000 and around 45 in the case of agro waste. Again there is a variability. Then in my first slide I showed that there are component like cellulose, hemicellulose and lignin present in the these fibrous raw material. So, you can see that the what are the percentage which are present in the wood. I am taking the example for the wood which is already debarked, means barking was done. After that debark logged analysis there, because bark also contains several other contaminants, means ash content is very high. So, in that case ash content will be very high if bark is not removed. So, this is analysis for the debark material. So, here silica content is less than 1%, but in case of wheat straw or wheat rice straw, the silica content is on the higher side. In the rice straw it is in the range of 12 to 13%, and for the wheat straw in the range of 3 to 5%. Then based on the pulp fiber morphology, hardwood we can judge the fiber based on their fiber length, fiber width, lumen characteristic and surface fibrillation. Based on that, hardwood is in the range of 0.5 to 1.5, or in some cases it is 2 mm. For the softwood it is in the range of 2 mm to 4 mm, and lumen of softwood is in the range of 20 to 50 micrometer, means here the thickness of lumen is thinner in softwood and thicker in hardwood. In the case of agro waste, the range is for the bagasse is 0.5 to 20, but in other cases it is there is huge variation. In the case of waste paper, I did not give any number, because we cannot evaluate how much time it is recycled and what is the fiber size after each recycling process. So, in my conclusion slide for wood, we can say that wood is a traditional backbone of the paper making process, at least in the India, and it provides consistent strength and predictable performance when we are using wood. And sustainability depends on the forest management. This is for the foreign countries. In our country it is based on the agroforestry and some certification processes. In the case of agro waste, it is abundant and renewable energy alternative using agriculture byproduct, which can be used to as a fiber source for the paper making process. And as the name shows, it is waste, so it is cost effective and it promotes resource efficiency and also contribute in the circular economy phenomena. Then variable fiber length and mineral content requires specialized treatment for the agro waste, and standardized processing techniques needed for the quality control in the case of agro waste. And last one is that is waste paper. Obviously, these waste papers reduces environmental burden and support circular economy. These are a low cost raw material and widely available raw material, and challenges are that fiber degradation, contamination level, and heterogeneity in the raw material is present when we are using waste paper as a raw material for the fiber source. And last one, that is it requires advanced inking technology, refining and blending with virgin fiber. Thank you.
Sir, paper being used as secondary packaging material extensively in India.
Pardon?
I'm saying paper being used as secondary packaging material in India, whereas brands wants to use is at primary also, but there are some limitation like barrier property of it. So definitely there is some work which is going on those fronts. My question here is that is there any pulpability standard in India which can be referred for selection of paper as packaging material? Like European country or you can say developed countries having a standard, like Green Dot is an example, where they define maybe more than 90%, 95% fiber content considered as pulpable or you can say recyclable paper. So is there anything which is available in India or still nothing is there?
No, in India the standard is not available for that, but for packaging paper the burst strength should be on higher side. So that is main criteria for the paper industry, no, packaging industry.
But there is no standard for pulpability check in India.
In my knowledge for packaging, I don't know for that.
Sir, good afternoon. This is a very thoughtful presentation. Lot of information is there. Thank you so much, sir. Just I have just two small query. You have mentioned that regarding the raw material, we can use the either wood based or maybe agro waste or maybe recycled paper. Is there any scope to use the textile waste or textile waste material? Because a lot of textile material is produced from either maybe cotton or maybe jute. That may also be used for this such kind of paper making process. What is your sir,
Yes,
view on
yes.
this topic?
Yes, cotton is I think used for the paper making also. For currency paper, cotton is being used. So the main hindrance for using these materials that it is not hydrophilic. For paper making process, the fiber should be hydrophilic, because water it is a water intensive process, means water is required for hydrogen bonding process. In cotton, if you wet the cotton and dry it, then again you can separate the fiber easily in case of cotton. So that is main drawback for of using cotton in the paper industry.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And one more question. During the form making paper from the wood, so we have mentioned that we have to remove the lignin to get the fiber. And when we talk about the fiber on microfibril and fibril kind of cellulosic material, just I want to know what type of plant cell is there. Because when we study the biology, it is tell that parenchyma, chorenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem and phloem. So I want to know what is the actual this kind of whatever cellulosic fiber we are getting, which type of plant cell it is.
There are, as you rightly mentioned, that there are several other cells which is present in the plant cell. I in my presentation I only mentioned cellulose, hemicellulose,
Right.
and this third one is lignin. Beside that, there are extractive, and there are parenchyma cell, tracheids, vessels, ray cells. These all cells are present. But during the chemical treatment process, these materials are getting dissolved into the black liquor, which is called black liquor, and only the cellulosic portion, that is the fiber portion, that is a microfibril bundles in the form of the cellulose and hemicellulose, and as well as residual lignin, the range of 1 to 2% lignin is present. So that portion is remain, otherwise all other cells goes into the black liquor.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. That recycling of specialty paper is very hard or process intensive. Whether it is biodegradable, the specialty paper.
Specialty paper. Okay. So if you are talking about the biodegradability, so definition for biodegradability is that it should be degraded by the biological organism, and any biological organism will degrade that component if it is accessible to them, means raw material, means food is there, and they will secrete some enzymes to dissolve that. And if you are going into the definition of a special paper, which is well described in the morning session, then it mostly of them is providing hindrance to any chemical or any water or any gases towards the cellulosic or hemicellulosic portion. So if that is also applicable on the microbial machinery also, means they want to secrete, but when in the presence of cellulose they want to secrete these cellulase enzymes to degrade that part, but before that there is a coating which is making a hindrance or a wall between these cellulosic substances or between the enzymes. So if that coating material is removed, then that portion cellulose is degradable. So we have to remove that coating part. So if that chemical can be removed, that obviously we will go for the recycling to use that fiber rather than degrading it, right sir?
Okay, sir. Sir, so as you said, the pulp of wood, agro waste, and paper waste are different. The characteristics are different. So,
Agro waste and
paper waste, agro waste, and wood.
yes, yes,
The pulp characteristics are different. So, can we mix the pulp of any of the three sources and then produce the paper?
okay. So I was talking about the fiber morphology because they are different, because fiber structure is solely dependent on the chemical treatment process. Means if you are going in depth of chemical treatment processes, which may be a part of your future lectures in the next days in the pulping section. So there is a chemical strength there, and second one is temperature. So there is a optimal value of chemical doses and as well as the temperature. So based on that the deterioration of the fiber occurs during the chemical treatment processes. So in plant they are in intact structure within the plant, means for plant the strength of that fiber is sufficient to support the life of that plant. When we use chemicals to remove lignin, during that process that fiber is getting shortened based on the chemical dosages or based on the that temperature, maybe 125 degrees Celsius in case of agro waste or 165 to 170 in case of the wood based. So based on that the fiber properties are different, but basic structure, that is cellulose hemicellulose, is same in all the three cases. So in this case the fiber length determines the property of eastern property of that final finished product. So if you are using agro waste and you find that the length of fiber present in this raw material is very short, means it is received after fifth recycling or sixth recycling. So in that case softwood can be added as a blending material, blending raw material for to improve the strength of that waste paper to as per the standard. In case of agro waste, you can also blend some agro waste also, like banana stem that has a higher strength. So different type of blending can be done. It depends on your research, what is the standard of your finished product. Based on that you can blend the ratio of these three raw material.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, yes.